What it do, y'all? It's your girl T Danae. I'm back at it again with another Queens Remembering Time. I know y'all miss me. I know y'all miss me over the past week and a half. But it was a holiday, y'all. I had to really just get myself together. I had a good Memorial Day. We celebrated the black soldiers and the brown soldiers and the Asian soldiers that, risk their lives for America when America doesn't risk their lives for them. So shout out to those people of color and those black soldiers. We celebrate y'all when we were grilling outside in the H time, having a good time. So we just want you to know that you're in our hearts, and we thank you for sacrificing your life for people of color and black people in this country, even though this country does not fight for you. It's not unnoticed by the people that look like you. All right. So after we get into that, we're gonna get into some more strong soldiers, which are some female rappers. So on Queens Remembering Time, we celebrate female rappers from the Deep South, right? So the ones that I really want to celebrate, and the ones I have been celebrating heavily from Florida, New Orleans, shout out to our girl Rashida from Georgia, right? But I'm going to talk about some girls that kind of represent for New Orleans and Houston, all right? These two girls are a duo. And I know when you think of duo, you think of Salt and Pepper, you think of JJ Fab. Well, that's not a duo, that's three. You think of City Girls, right? And countless other duos, right? Well, before the City Girls, there was Ghetto Twins. Now, a lot of y'all don't know who the Ghetto Twins are. Excuse me. The Ghetto Twins is a group from New Orleans that moved to Houston, 5th Ward, Houston, Texas, to be exact, right? This group of two women based their business out of New Orleans and also in Houston, sharing both of those areas. New Orleans and Houston is kind of like cousins, even though we don't get along sometimes. We're very similar because New Orleans and Houston has a heavy Creole background, a heavy population of black people, and we're both major cities off the water, historically known as major ports, that also brought in a lot of enslaved Africans that became our ancestors, that also gave us style infusions for both of our cities. All right, that's kind of what it compares to style. That's all I'm gonna say. But these two women, the Ghetto Twins, that go by the name of Tanya and Tamitha, made studio albums and even made it to Billboard topping covers and things of that sort. So these two girls are actual real twins. They're sisters, all right? And these two women are known as the Ghetto Twins. They were born in New Orleans, all that great stuff. And when they were in New Orleans, they formed into a group in 1991. Okay, 3 years after forming into a group, they signed to Big Boy Records. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking down at my facts, all right? But they signed to Big Boy Records in around 1994. And when they signed to Big Boy Records after forming into a group, they dropped their first album, which is called Surrounded by Criminals, in 1996. Okay, so it was kind of a stretch of time, almost 5 years to almost 6 years for them to actually drop their first body of work. But you gotta remember, in the 90s, your body of work couldn't just come out quick, fast, like microwave. Not saying our music is microwave. But you had to put in thoughts, you had to put in money, you had to put in studio time, you had to put in writing, you had to put in concepts, you had to find the right producer to produce your sound. So I do love the fact that the Ghetto Twins took their time to craft that Surrounded by Criminals. Now, the title of the album itself is just very interesting because these are two women from New Orleans and Houston, and in the 90s were two of the roughest cities in the South. I'm just keeping it real. They were rough. They were big cities, but they also were very rough. And so their whole standpoint on Surrounded by Criminals, who's listening to the album, just talks about what two women have to go through, or what black women have to go through to raise children, to raise themselves, to have something for themselves in these rough and tough, bustling cities in the South, right? Especially in Houston, all right? And so listening to Surrounded by Criminals, great album. Later on, the ladies would join Rap A Lot Records. A lot of y'all know about Rap A Lot Records that hails from 5th Ward, Texas. All right, Houston, 5th Ward, Texas. They released 3 more albums, Get In That Water, No Pain, No Gain, and Got It On My Own. All right. Oh, Got It On My Mind. I'm sorry, not Got It On My Own. Apologize. Y'all gotta forgive me, right? But these ladies also took a break for a little minute after 2001, and then they dropped another EP about 10 years later called Them People Coming. So we did see a resurgence of a lot of female rappers that was big early in the 90s and the early 2000s, kind of resurgence again in the 2010s, kind of popping off and kind of help pushing that female hip-hop renaissance that we're actually seeing now, right? So The Ghetto Twins, I really want to get into their music. You got a little background from where they're from, right? But I really want to get into their music. So their music, some of the Ghetto Twins' most notable songs is Responsibility. I'm going to take a minute to talk about Responsibility. Responsibility is a feminist anthem, right? Or we're black women, we necessarily can't be feminist. It's a womanist anthem, all right? If you know about womanism, it's all about like uplifting and holding and taking care of the black woman and catering to ourselves and catering to our dreams and just knowing that we can do whatever we can do in a space and still love our feminine energy, even though the world tries to make us look masculine. And all that feminine energy we have is not just to uphold ourselves as women in our community, but also to let the black man know, hey, it's okay to be a feminist or okay to be a womanist, because without the black woman, you wouldn't have what you have now. Like, you wouldn't be able to enter this world as a black man without a black woman. Right? So with the Ghetto Twins, to me, Responsibility is a perfect song of like how the struggles of a woman go through, but also not giving up. Like, a lot of times we hear like, oh, this woman's struggling, this, what you do when your son is at home crying? Like, if you know that song by City High, we hear a lot of that, but we don't hear a lot about like what you do if your son is home crying on the floor because he's hungry. You going out and hustling to get it. And no matter what way you hustling, working 9 to 5, stripping it on the pole, doing things that you need to do, you're still handling your responsibility, which is your child, which is a job, which is college, which is take care of your mama, which is just take care of yourself. You're responsible for yourself. And what I love about that song is just painted a really good picture. I love the video. Also, it's just a really good video. And what I also loved about the Tanya and Tamir, rap styles, is that it's roguish and rugged and rough. They're not trying to fake a baby voice. They're not trying to make a sexy voice. They sound like women that's been through shit, but the shit makes good music. And that's what I love about Responsibility, because it talks about how women get through shit, but they still push through and make it through. And they're going to survive at the end of this because we're strong enough for it. Another song is Got It On My Mind. I was listening to Got It On My Mind, and I was like, ooh, this a little, yeah, put your back into it. It's a little upbeat. And what I love about that type of song is that they show versatility. Like, you're hearing Responsibility, and then before you know it, you also listening to Got It On My Mind. Like, if you're just going through their album discography, and you like, oh, they got a little bit one of them ones, you know what I'm saying? So I like that song a lot. I like the beat. It's very New Orleans, Spy Mission. Once again, because they're from New Orleans, but they were based in Houston, they were able to combine both of those worlds. The other one I love is No Pain, No Gain. So I forgot the actual singer that they sampled on No Pain, No Gain. But what I love about that song, No Pain, No Gain, is that they featured my Mia X, Mama Mia, all right? And they just not talking about like going through relationship problems. They're really just talking about life. Once again, we as black women go through hard things that other races of women would not even imagine having to deal with on a daily basis. And they just rap about it, talking about no pain, no gain. Like, yeah, this is painful right now, but you're about to gain a whole lot of great things if you just push through this, if you just push through this, if you just push through this. And so that's what I love about the Ghetto Twins once again. And shout out to Mia X. We gotta do an episode on you. We got you for sure. All right. The other one is Show No Love. I love that one. Show No Love was really good. It was about basically running down on a nigga. And you don't hear that a lot with women in the 90s. Either it was real sexy, or it was about getting money, breaking niggas for their money, or it was about like some crunk shit, beat a bitch up shit. But they was talking about running down on a nigga. And so like, I like the song because at the beginning of the song, dude talking about, yeah, I can't get you, so I'm gonna send my girls to go get you. And they talk about hopping out the car, black mask up, running down on a nigga. And all that running down on a dude, all that was so dope, right? And show no love. The last one I like is Mama Heard. And once again, they're women. They probably had children. If they did not have children yet, they understand what it's like to be a single mother or just be a mother in these impoverished communities. So Mama Heard, and I like that song a lot too. That's a song that I feel like people should play for their mama, even if their mama never dealt with nothing. If you gave your mama hell, play that for your mama. Play that for your mama. All right. The Ghetto Twins, what I loved about their sound, it is rude and roguish. It was very rough and tough and strong. And what I mean by strong is not like masculine strong, like the strongest way a woman could be. Think of the strongest woman you know, not physically, but mentally. Yes, that's the Ghetto Twin style, right? I love the mix of New Orleans sound and the slowness of the Houston. They had that perfect mix because some of their beats would sound very 90s New Orleans, but also some of their beats would sound very Houston, Fifth Ward sound. I don't know if the Ghetto Twins and Scarface ever did a song together, but that would be a perfect collab at the time being when that sound was out. The ladies experiment with different flows, different sounds. The Twins aesthetic. The aesthetic of the Ghetto Twins was like my favorite aesthetic of just 90s, early 2000s Southern women. Okay, because Y2K does not mean 2000s, all right? Hoochie does not mean 90s. And we're going to get into that in my new series called Hoochology. But let me break this down to you. So this means that, like, I know the long nails, the hard hairstyles, the swoops, the nameplates are changed, or the heavy silver and gold jewelry. If you see this on my face and my earrings, I usually wear hoops, but I don't have them in. That is not necessarily hoochie. That is the style of a black woman in the 90s. That was just a very dramatic style. It was a style of, like, I know we call it like black girl, soft girl era. That what y'all are saying is soft girl era in the 90s. To be rich and lavish, you had the loud jewelry, the long nails, the gold or silver highlights and accents. You had that. And that was a big style in LA, New York, the East Coast, down south, in the Midwest. All right. Now, every section had their own little flair to it, right? But what I like about the Ghetto Twins, they embodied the Southern way of it, which is like the hard hairstyles, the nails, the real nice bodysuits, or not bodysuits, but like clothes that fit to your body, right? That was something that, like, a lot of women, girls wear clothes that fit to their body. They weren't wearing that in the 90s. Yes, they were. If you watch TV shows, you see the baggy sweaters and the baggy pants and the high-waist jeans. You see that a lot. But if you're talking about, like, hoochie adjacent or just hoochie, right, or something that deprived from hoochie, the around-the-way girl look, they were wearing clothes like that. And that was just something that was of that standard from the 90s, especially down south. And I love that aesthetic. That's where I get that aesthetic from. When I say I don't get my looks from Instagram models, I get it from my aunties, my grandma, my cousins, and the female rappers from the 90s, early 2000s in the South. That's where I get that from. I get it from what you would call a hoochie, but really is just the rich girl flex for the 90s in the early 2000s. That's what soft girl era looked like, right? Loud jewelry, gold, long nails, a hard hairstyle to signify the hair is freshly done, right? The piercings, the lashes, the heavy, not even the lashes, but like this, the thick, makeup and the arched eyebrows. I get that because that's my idea of luxury, right? But that's what I love about the Ghetto Twins. They talk about all this hard shit, but they are giving luxury, and that shit was beautiful. Especially in the 2001 album cover. I forgot the name of the album. 2001 album cover, which is Got It on My Mind. They in front of a Benz. I think it's silver or black. And they just got these heels on and these cute outfits. You could tell their hair done, their nails done, golds in the front. They had golds in their mouth. Gold teeth in their mouth. All right? They had that in their mouth. Y'all not understanding. Their imagery was off the chain, y'all. And they were pretty. They were gorgeous. Y'all don't understand about the Ghetto Twins. Their aesthetic was everything, right? Also, the Twins were able to give womanist anthems. The music was womanist. Like, it was very womanist. It was great. It was beautiful. It had the mix between the bounce that ass, break this trick, to life hard, but you got to get this bread, baby. The run down on me if you playing with my money. That's perfect. Well-rounded. That's well-rounded, right? So, man, let's just pay homage to the Ghetto Twins. We love you. Thank you for being another pinnacle in female hip-hop down south. Also being queens that are remembered in time. I want y'all to know that if nobody remember y'all female hip-hop now, your girl T-Dane, I remember y'all. And I'm going to continue to listen to y'all music and celebrate the things that y'all done for us in New Orleans to Houston. All right. Thank y'all for tapping in to Queens Remember Time. Wait for another episode, y'all. This is the end of the series. Y'all. We gave y'all 6, I think 7 episodes. I think 6. 6 episodes of female rappers from the South, all parts of the 1990s to the early 2000s. And get ready for our new series called Hoochieology. Okay? Hoochieology. I'm going to let y'all ponder on that. But thank y'all for tapping in Female Hip Hop Now. Queens Remember in Time. Ghetto Twins, we love you.